Today, I want to reflect a little with you and talk a bit about how and where you and I, as ordinary lay people, learn to be missionary disciples. Do you go to a school to learn the skills and the methods of missionary discipleship? Can you take a course or write an exam to get certified to be a missionary disciple? No, of course not. At least, not in the traditional sense. The School of Missionary Discipleship is the school of life. You and I learn to become missionary disciples by watching other missionary disciples, talking with them, walking with them, and being apprenticed by them. Speaking from my own experience, there were 4 classrooms in the School of Life in which I learned how to be a missionary disciple. The first classroom in which I learned to be a missionary disciple was my family. My family was far from perfect, but we did love one another, and we still do. The biggest lesson that I learned from my family was that love, which I define as caring for one another, is a choice, not a feeling. And it's a choice that we must make again and again and again. My father worked pretty hard in a warehouse when I was a child. When he came home, he must have been pretty tired. Looking back on those days, the adult me can see that. But I don't remember Dad as tired or grumpy. I remember him as smiling, joking, often singing, happy to spend time with his family. Ready to do some carpentry, to draw pictures, or build model boats or airplanes with us. Ready to help a neighbor, or ready to help out with any number of projects in our parish. I'm sure that Dad didn't always feel like doing all those things, but he chose to do them. And I think that Dad became more cheerful by practicing being cheerful. He lifted others up by his humor, his singing, and his availability. The way Dad showed his love was by choosing to be available, choosing to be open to others. The second classroom in which I learned to be a missionary disciple was the actual school I went to as a child. I don't remember exactly what my grade 4 teacher taught me about geography, but I do remember that my grade 4 teacher taught us that there's always somebody better off than you and somebody worse off than you. And she taught us that each one of us can do something, no matter how small, to help others. If I finished my work early, then I was expected to help a younger student. And if I had a quarter in my pocket and there was a mission appeal in the school that day, guess where the quarter went? Sister Cecilia taught me that generosity is the way of life for a Christian disciple. Like love, generosity and charity are choices, and they're choices that I find I must make again and again and again. Charity and generosity of spirit take me out of myself and orient me toward others. And generosity is not only about material goods or money. It is an attitude. Whatever little I have, it can be shared. And that applies to time. It applies to attention. It applies to food, space, clothing. The list could go on and on. The third classroom in which I learned to be a missionary disciple was my parish. There, I learned that I have gifts and talents that can be used to help others. In my parish, I had a wise choir director who taught me that my talent for music was a gift that I could use and place at the service of others. She showed me ways that I could get together with others and have fun while learning and singing and making the lives of others a bit better. We sang at Mass and at choir practice. But under the guidance of Sister Catherine, we also sang in senior citizens' homes and children's hospitals. We put together parish variety shows and public concerts. Sister Catherine taught me that developing my gifts and placing them at the service of others is a choice I have to make again and again, a choice that opens me to encounters with others, encounters with God. The fourth classroom in which I learned to be a missionary disciple was friendship. God has placed some of the most wonderful friends in my life. They've taught me so much about the joy and the benefit of making time for others. My friends are mostly ordinary lay people, teachers, nurses, receptionists, librarians, parents, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, volunteers in different organizations and in parishes. They've taught me that faithfulness and friendship are choices, and they are choices that I find I must make again and again and again. We have learned to be good friends by being friends, and by being there for one another through all of life's ups and downs. Mostly, my friends have taught me gratitude. And gratitude, too, is a choice we must make, much more than it is a feeling or an emotion. What were your schools for being missionary disciples? What lessons did you learn there that you can apply to the rest of your life? In the joy of the gospel, Pope Francis said something important, and I leave you today with a little gift from Pope Francis. I invite all Christians everywhere at this very moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ, or at least an openness to letting Him encounter them. I ask all of you to do this unfailingly each day. No one should think that this invitation is not meant for him or her, since no one is excluded from the joy brought by the Lord. The Lord does not disappoint those who take this risk. Whenever we take a step toward Jesus, we come to realize that He is already there, waiting for us with open arms. My family, my school, my parish, and my friends have all taught me how to be a missionary disciple, how to encounter others and take a step or two out toward others in openness and love. And we learn to be missionary disciples by being missionary disciples and by choosing again and again to do the loving, generous, noble, caring, charitable thing.